Well, hello there. Kumusta po kayo? How are you? And thank you for tuning in to another edition of Paul the Guzman Presents Art. So you see this building right behind me, like right over there. It's a 207 Hastings Street building. We're going to be entering that building to sort of like have a look at the contemporary art gallery called Unit 17, where the works of Gabi Dao is being shown. It's a very busy building. It's kind of weird that we have all this activity going on, but without further ado, we're going to go in, okay? And we'll do it right now. See you soon. So we made it inside the building. It's one of those. I didn't realize there's going to be some sort of like a bridal fashion sale happening in this building, but anyways, it's a really beautiful building. It's a very old building in Vancouver. It's about over 100 years old, and as Vancouver is quite a young city and built on the ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations, it is a very young city. So whenever you find buildings like this, you tend to sort of like want to have a look at the interior. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right in front of Suite 310, where the gallery's showing the work of Gabi Dao, which is Unit 17. And this is where we're going to go. All right? We'll pause for a bit. Okay, we're just in front of Suite 310. We're just about to go inside Unit 17 and have a look at the show by Gabi Dao at Unit 17. I'm just going to do a little bit of a pan. Can you figure it out yet? So the show actually is more of a two-parter, because this is the first part of the show that has a lot to do with puppetry and her interest in bats, as well as her interest in ceramics. And I'm just doing a little pan of it because when you look at the ground, you're going to see bits of sort of like unfired clay, because she is an artist who also deals with ceramic works. And you can look at the heads of these puppets made of ceramic, and then of course I was informed that the clothing was actually perhaps you can call it commissioned, because they have somebody that they work with to actually create the costumes. So why bats? So the thing about it is that the show came about as a result of a recent residency in Alberta at the Gushul School in Alberta. And there is where she kind of like did more research regarding bats. And to the extent that she had collaborated with some people in the scientific community who are experts at this type of researching the behavior of bats, because there was also this sense about the bat just before COVID that there was this some sort of like, I guess, story or folklore perhaps, wherein somebody had consumed some sort of bat soup or something like that, and then that actually pretty much precipitated the disease going from the bats to humanity or to human beings. And but of course that's just fake news. But it kind of like made you wonder about the how bats are in terms of our society, how we sort of like tend to appreciate or not appreciate certain things, especially when species are concerned. I mean, the thing about it is that bats are actually very useful animals, mammals anyways. They are, they are mostly consume insects and fruits, and they usually go and sort of deal with their own echolocation. So they are nocturnal creatures. And then when you look at these puppets, you're kind of looking at it in terms of tradition of puppetry as well. Because Gabi Dao is heritage is Vietnamese. So when I first saw the work, the first thing that actually came to mind was more a history of puppetry, not just in Asia, but also in Europe. And knowing that there is a school of puppetry, like for example in Burma, a school of puppetry, rod puppets and hand puppets in China. There's also some shadow puppetry tradition in Indonesia, in the wayang golak and the wayang kulit. And so you kind of look at it in terms of the tradition of the marionette, and realizing that marionette, which is actually French, meaning Little Mary, is really more of a depiction of the Virgin Mary in terms of religious iconography. And of course, sort of looking at the marionette tradition in France, and of course, going into Asia, the French pretty much colonized certain areas like Laos and Vietnam and even Cambodia. So there's that sense of the marionette structure being part of sort of the of the puppetry tradition in France. You're probably also wondering, there's another sort of soundtrack happening, because that's a soundtrack from the video. I'm going to try and see if we can go and have a look at a little bit of an excerpt of the video a bit later. But the main character of the video is this guy. So this is Lucifer. And you're going to see him because he's quite distinctive with his little round mirror in the front there. And just going to do a little bit more of a pan of the puppets, because it's kind of interesting to see each individual puppet having a personality. Although I was told that they don't have individual names, except for Lucifer over there. But it's kind of interesting how bats have a bad rap in terms of our society. And I think it's really more a matter of a mammal that doesn't really share certain sort of similar characteristics as human beings. Like for example, first of all, they're nocturnal. Second, they have a sense of echolocation. And so when you look at folklore, there's always this sense about the darkness and the foreboding. And also the entire sort of episode with the vampire bats, with Dracula, Transylvania. Even when you go and look at, let's say, DC Comics and Batman and Robin, having the Batcave. It all kind of deals with that entire sort of folklore, even our sort of notions of what the bat is or what it will be in our society, because ultimately a species survival really depends on whether humanity can actually make use of flora or fauna. The survival depends on it. And it's sad to think that way, but there's also this sense about the ecological responsibility that humanity has, but there always has to have this sort of use value in terms of what can we use the bats for, or what benefit does it have for humanity. So a lot of these issues tend to sort of get formulated when you're looking at this show in sort of a very sort of subtle way. But at the same time, it doesn't negate the fact that these pieces are here to be enjoyed. There's something very disarming about this entire show, which I really appreciate. And I'm just going to go on the other side to get more of a nicer vantage point there. And then we're going to try and see if I can get some footage of the video, okay? And let's see. Let's go over here for a little bit. So we're just gonna go in and have a look at the video, and I'm just gonna be quiet, okay? And then after that, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a dialogue about what the video is all about. So that's just a little teaser in terms of the video. It's very easy to get to the gallery. Just go to 207 Hastings Street. Make sure you buzz in 596 as the buzzer code. And then you can go upstairs to suite number 310. And they're open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from noon to 5. And I hope you like this video. And if you do, you can always click the thumbs up button if you want. You can share this video on your social media. Also, if you'd like to get more notification about the forthcoming videos, just click the subscribe button. It's not going to cost you any money. It's free. And I hope you enjoyed this. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. I hope that you have a great day. And I hope art informs your life. And with that, I am out of here. Thank you and see you later.